Carbon wheels are a must-have upgrade for any cyclist who wants to take their riding to the next level. The benefits are pretty well documented, but the top-line gains that you can enjoy are a reduction in weight, more responsiveness, better aerodynamic performance, reductions in rolling resistance, and increased comfort and grip. Not to mention, they do look pretty cool too. Carbon road bike wheels have been around for quite a while now, and they are no longer the reserve of the best cyclists in the world. In fact, there are some carbon wheels which won't pinch at your wallet as much as you may expect. And with the trickle-down effect of technology, we're now seeing better value carbon wheels perform remarkably similar to those costing much, much more. Since the carbon wheel market now does span such a wide price range, I've broken it down into £500 increments, ranging from £500 all the way up to £3,000. Now, all the wheels that I talk about here today are available in the US, the UK, and the EU. However, of course, those prices will differ ever so slightly. It also has to be said that some of the wheel sets may fall above or below that exact price bracket. So it's best to treat those brackets more like ballpark figures rather than it being an exact science. I have also included all of the links below to the wheels that I talk about, so if you want, you can go and learn a little bit more about them. First up, we're going to start at the £500 price point, and Vel, by far and away, offer the best wheel set in the space. The external width of the rim measures at a claimed 27.5mm, meaning that these wheels would be a perfect fit for some 28mm tyres, for that smooth transition from rim to tyre. With 102 points of engagement in the free hub, they should be nice and snappy when delivering the power. While the claimed weight of the wheel set at 1,550 grams isn't the most impressive thing, especially for a 38mm deep wheel set, you will still be able to enjoy a real-world speed gain compared to a box section rim. Consider this, a stock set of wheels might come in at an extra kilo in weight. So by removing that weight, you'll be able to feel a tangible improvement compared to some stock wheels. If you are a lighter rider and you do a lot of climbing, then these are the wheels that I would recommend. However, if you're a bigger rider, or you just take on more flatter rides where aerodynamics is the opponent to conquer, then happily, Vel also offer an RL60 wheel set where, as you guessed it, has a 60mm deep rim. They will come with an additional weight penalty, and they won't be as responsive as their 38mm counterparts, but they will carry their speed really nicely on those long flat days. Perhaps also ideal for someone who wants to take on the occasional time trial. It has to be said, the only reason why these wheels can fall into this price bracket is because they are currently on sale. However, if you're quick, you possibly could nab yourself a pretty decent price. Long-standing fan favourites for good value wheel performance are Hunt. The brand seems to have been on a roll recently with great build options that seem to cater for a really broad spectrum of riders. However, the particular pair of wheels that I want to turn my attention to are the 44 Aerodynamicist carbon disc wheels. As you guessed it, they come in at 44mm deep, and when considering the depth, the claimed weight is pretty respectable at 1,466 grams. The rim features a 20mm internal width and a 29mm external width. So pairing them with a 28mm or 30mm tyre would be fantastic. But what makes these wheels £500 better than the Vels? Well, aside from the obvious near 100-gram weight saving, the slightly wider external width will also mean that the wheels are more aerodynamic when paired with a wider tyre, as is so popular these days. One of, if not the biggest benefit to these wheels, actually just comes down to the rim profile. When comparing the cross sections of the rims, the Hunts are more bulbous, and it's this shape that lends itself towards offering more stability in the crosswinds. And as a bonus, the Hunts offer a greater axle compatibility, and then include adapters as well as tubeless tape. To the average rider, these wheels also represent themselves as a great first step into better wheel performance compared to stock wheels. The question you have to ask is, are they worth paying the extra money compared to the Vels? In my opinion, yes, they are. The rim profile and weight saving alone seal the deal for me. Next up, as we enter the £1,500 price bracket, the best wheels that I believe that you can get are the Zipp 303 Firecrest wheels. This is because these wheels have been the recipient of a fair bit of trickle-down technology. It's no secret that Zipp develop and sell wheels costing much more. So the brand does tend to be at the cutting edge of what's being offered in the wheel market. This then results in slightly older but still very valuable tech making its way down to wheel sets like these. For starters, these wheels are ones that you really can use anywhere. Thanks to the really wide internal width of 25mm, you can run anything from a 28mm tyre all the way up to the widest of gravel tyres. So whether you need road, gravel or cyclocross wheels, these will work. Also, the weight that these 40mm deep wheels come in at is also rather good. They tip the scales at 1,408 grams. One feature which I see as a slight drawback is that they are hookless, so tyre compatibility is ever so slightly limited, and it also means that you can't exceed tyre pressures beyond 73 psi. This isn't really the end of the world though, because these wheels are meant to be set up tubeless, and as we all know, tubeless setups work better at lower pressures, and when paired with a 28mm or 30mm tyre, most riders won't need to be near that 73 psi maximum anyway. Versatility to one side, the profile of the rim is designed to be more bulbous than the previous version, which, as I said, really helps with stabilization in the crosswinds. At the center of the rim is the ZR1DB hub, which on the rear has 66 points of engagement for a really snappy response. The wheels feel stiff and fast on all surfaces. They really do make a great choice for all types of riding. The £2,000 ballpark is a bit of a funny one actually. There aren't too many options that actually sit within this price point. There's either more options at the £1,500 level or the £2,500 level. But that being said, there is one rather interesting option which, when shopping around, will land you at around that £2,000 mark. That being the DT Swiss ERC 1100 die-cut 45 wheels. Now, to be really clear, you do have to shop around to find the best price on these wheels, and I found that meant potentially having to buy both wheels from different retailers. But it could be worth it when you start to delve into what you get for your money. Weight, once again, is a good starting point. They come in at a claimed 1,449 grams, which for a 45mm deep rim is quite good. They aren't quite as wide as the Zipps at 22mm on the internals, so they lack a little bit of versatility for riders who want to run really wide tyres. But for those who just want to run road tyres, they are perfect. Arguably, with the latest revision to the ETRTO standards, they are a better fit for 28mm tyres. This is then backed up by their external width at 28.5mm, meaning you could achieve a really smooth transition from rim to tyre. Looking past the rim, and to the thing which arguably DT Swiss are better known for, are the hubs. DT Swiss 180 hubs with the Ratchet EXP engagement system are used. Put simply, the way the free hub engages is via two plates which slide over each other when you're coasting, but then lock into place when the power is delivered. The plates have 36 points of engagement, so they are fairly fast to react, and they do also sound wicked. The thing that I also quite like about these wheels is that they're also available in a shallower 35mm depth, which drop another 50 grams off the weight, bringing them a smidgen under the 1400 gram mark. It's also at this price point that you start to see ceramic bearing technology creep in, and these wheels are no exception, as they are built using a hybrid steel ceramic bearing. But personally, I'm not actually the biggest fan of hybrid bearings. Sure, at the start they are very smooth. However, when you start to mix super hard ceramic balls with a steel race which is a little softer, you will start to wear that steel out. And this is in contrast to a full ceramic bearing where the hardness of the materials is uniform throughout the bearing. DT Swiss says that its bearings are made using a steel alloy to increase strength, so perhaps this could be enough to ensure their longevity. But in my experience with other hybrid bearings, they have never lasted as long as a full ceramic bearing. Happily, if these wheels stretch the budget a bit too much, DT Swiss also make a 1400 model variant which captures many of the same features but with a more affordable price tag. On to what is now very serious money to be spending on wheels, and is most definitely in the dream category for most. We have the Cadex 50 Ultra wheels. At 50mm deep, they come in at a staggering claimed 1,349 grams. They're built using carbon bladed spokes and feature a 22.4mm wide internal, so they are perfect for the tyres of today. They do have a hookless rim, so they need to be run with compatible tyres only. The wheels have seen the inside of a wind tunnel, resulting in bladed spokes and aerodynamically optimised hub shapes. The bearings within those hubs are ceramic, so will be super smooth rolling. The free hub actually works really similarly to that of the DT Swiss wheels, but the engagement plates have 40 points, which make them ever so slightly faster to engage. On the surface, these wheels really do provide everything a modern road cyclist is looking for. I think the hookless rim is likely to be the most contentious part about this wheel set, but everything else about these wheels really does represent itself as being something which would really elevate your riding experience and leave very little to be desired. The only thing is, you really do have to pay for them. At £2,650 here in the UK, I am stretching what a £2.5 grand ballpark really is, but I do think the performance of these wheels justifies their price tag. Lastly, towards the very top end of the scale, we have what I think are the best wheels for around the £3,000 mark, the Zipp 353 NSWs. Their headline feature is the rim's famous sawtooth profile. Claimed to battle the compromise of deep wheel aerodynamic performance and crosswind stability, these wheels are trying to do quite a lot, but in my experience, they have performed really well. The reason I chose these wheels over and above the 454 NSWs, those being the even more aerodynamic bigger brother, is because the 353 stands as both an aero and super lightweight package. Coming in at a claimed 1,308 grams, they provide a super fast and responsive feeling on the climbs, but still roll really fast on the flats. The versatility of these wheels is really hard to match. When you pair that with the 25mm internal rim width, these wheels are ones that you can use anywhere. Once again, the hookless rim may prove controversial for some, but I think the real-world customer for top-end wheels like these will also be ones that are keen adopters of modern innovations. Let me know what you think of my selection down below. I'm positive that you will have your own selection of wheels that you would choose instead. So let me know what they are and why. If you enjoyed the video, then please do drop it a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will see you again very soon.